Hi, my exams are now over, and it was not that tough as I expected. And I know many of you would be having your exams on 26, so I thought I would share some tips from my experience so that it would be very useful for you for your exams. So the first thing is what all you need to take for your exams. So I have made a list. So I hope you all have also made a list of what all things you have to take. First of all, whether to take logbook and thesis. I actually took both because we are going to a faraway place for exam. So suppose if they ask, what will you do? So I took both, but they didn't ask for it, and many of my friends also told me that there is no need to take logbook and thesis, and also some people had mailed NPA, and the reply it was written like there is no need to bring the logbook. So I just kept both with me. So I think it's better that you keep your logbook and thesis also with you, just in case, you know. And the other thing is you have to take your hall ticket, preferably a color copy with your passport size photo attached on it. You have to take a white coat and also a white paper with your roll numbers written on it, and also a pin to attach that on your card. Then you have to take a writing board, two ballpoint pen, then two scales. Just in case if you get a cardiac case for your exam, you have to measure the JVP. So you have to take two scale, a measuring tape, knee hammer, torch, and two wooden tongue depressor or two air spatula, anything for the purpose of measuring that vaginal prolapse case. So these are the things that you need to take. First, the hall ticket, white coat, then white paper with your roll number written on it, a pin, writing board, two pen, two scale, measuring tape, knee hammer, torch, and two tongue depressor. And the next thing is about the preparations. Actually, on the day prior to the exam, I couldn't study anything. I slept at around 2 a.m., woke up at 5 a.m. I couldn't sleep properly. I was really panicked. So the one thing I did was I heard from the on-friends apps there is one PG Quest. I had purchased it, so I just run it in 2x and heard for 3 days prior to the exam. And the other thing was I went through the previous year OSCE questions, then instruments, charts, and also the mechanism of normal labor. These are the things that we shouldn't miss to go through prior to going to the examination, because the four stations are: one is tummy pelvis, the other one is specimens, then comes instruments and drugs, then there are charts. So these are the four stations. So you have to go through all these things, and also the previous year OSCE questions. And don't just always rely on the answers written on the previous year OSCE PDFs and all, because there might be some mistakes. So if you find any doubt, it's better to refer it with standard book or just Google it. I didn't get enough time for that. I just went through the OSCEs only. I couldn't get enough time for double checking and all, but it's better if you could do that. So the next thing is please go to the exam center one day prior to the exam. In my case, in my hall ticket, the center was written like Institute of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Madras Medical College, Chennai. So obviously I thought it's the gynecology department in Madras Medical College. So we googled it and we went there. And when we inquired, they told me that the gynecology department is not there. It's in Ergmo. So I searched for MMC Ergmo. And when we finally reached there, it was a first year block, I suppose, because there were anatomy department and all was there. So when I inquired to the students, to the security, nobody knew about the exam. So I went into the library, and one sir was standing there. So he told me that it's IOG. It's not MMC. It's Institute of Obstetrics and Gynecology. It's IOG. So you have to search for IOG Ergmo, which was almost 2 kilometers from that institution. And at last we reached the institute, and in that institute also nobody knew about uh, the other stuff like the security, and those who I saw there, they didn't know about the exam. So I went to the gynec department, and outside one madam was there. So I asked her, and he told me that they didn't get any intimation about the exam, and they didn't know whether there is uh, an exam being conducted the next day. So she asked me to take one printout out of my hall ticket and come back. So I went out, took a printout, and came back. And by that time, she had inquired the HOD, and then she told me that the exam is there itself. There's no need to worry. It's in the fifth floor of. She told me all the way, and then I went back. So just imagine if that happens on the day of the exam, then we would definitely panic. So it's better to get acquainted with the place one day prior to the exam. And then lastly about the exam. So the reporting time was 8:30 a.m. But we reached there by 8 o'clock. The exam started by around 9 a.m. By 9 a.m. and the first one was OSCEs. And they initially they would project some 3 or 4 questions that may not be related to our department. They might be from surgery or medicine. So just don't panic if you don't know the answers. That may not be from the gynecology part. So and if you have got any difficulties like glare, difficulty in reading, if you cannot focus properly, then you have to tell the invigilators promptly, so that you can go to another chair, you can change your position so that you can see that easily. And there will be 20 questions, and four marks for each question. And after answering each question, they will take away that paper. So you will be provided with 20 sheets. So at first you have to take off the pin and write the name of the institute and sign each paper. All the 20 papers you have to write the name of the institute and sign. And once the exam starts, you have to immediately answer all the questions before 4 minutes, because at the end of 4 minutes they will take the first paper and you have to go to the next question. This is the first station, and most of the questions that were asked were simple things, but at that time we might not be able to recollect properly. It all depends on how much we have prepared, and most of them are answerable questions. And just write whatever comes to your mind. Rely on what your mind tells you. That may be always correct. After OSCE, we got our long cases. First one which I got was obstetric case. It was a recurrent pregnancy loss case, and I got around 20 minutes. I think more than 20 minutes to take the case, to write the case sheet, and for everything. And it went easily. And we have to write the case sheet also, because we have to hand over the case sheet to the examiners. But we need not write everything in details. Just we have to finish. We have to write the case, the summary, and the diagnosis, and we have to prepare. We have to present properly. And the second case was gynec case. It was a PID with an adnexal mass, but I got only 10 minutes to examine, do the PV, take the history, and to write. For everything I got only 10 minutes, so I couldn't write the case sheet properly. But I think writing the case sheet is not the thing. You have to prepare it properly. Just you have to write the case sheet roughly and hand it over to the examiners. And after the long cases, we got a short break. Then we went for the post-op rounds. There were 4 stations. There are post cesarean cases, post normal delivery, post PPIU CD insertion, then sterilization cases, and also hysterectomy cases. These were the cases that were kept there. And for the postnatal case, please don't forget to ask about the baby. Where is the baby? Where the baby is with the mother or in NICU? Is there any problem in feeding? These you should not miss to ask the patient. And always talk freely. Don't be afraid. Just be cool and present confidently. Then the after this poster branch, we had the lunch break. They will provide us with food, and the last thing was the four stations, which I already told you about: the dummy pelvis, instruments and charts, drugs, then specimens, and they will also keep photos of the specimens also. Uh, my examiners, they were very supportive. I didn't had much problem with them. They prompted us to answer the questions. Very were very friendly also. So just go on with a smiling face and present with confidence whatever comes to your mind. That's it. Anyways, all the best for the exam. I hope this video have been very much useful to you.